What's going on, guys? A lot of you are trying to get through that ultimatum game mode for Ghosts of the Deep, and some of you might be struggling to do damage on Ecthar or stay alive to get through 2 damage phases. Well, luckily for you, we have a very easy way to do a 1 damage phase strat with Ecthar. As long as you have all the builds and components that I'm showing you in this video, anybody can get this done very easily. So with that, let's dive right in. For this strat, the easiest way you can get this done is going to be obviously with 2 Titans and a Warlock, because that's kind of meta right now. One of the Titans is going to be a Banner of War Titan on Strand. One Titan is going to be a Storm's Keep Titan on Arc, and your Warlock is either going to be dropping Well or Song of Flame. Your Warlock is going to be applying debuffs to the boss using Tractor Cannon, as well as getting off ignitions with either their Hellion or their snaps from their melee. This is going to hold the boss in place and give you 30% extra damage while you're going through your damage rotations. Like I said, one Titan is going to be running Banner of War and the other is going to be running Storm's Keep. Both of these Titans are going to be absolute ad clear machines, so if you can, you want to leave these guys up top to handle all the ads spawning, all the witches spawning, get all your dunks done, while the Warlock is going to be down low running the mechanics down under the water. Both Titans are going to be running Winter Bite for damage. To pair with this, you're going to be wanting to use the artifact mod Nobel. The way this artifact mod reads is whenever you block damage with your glaive, it is going to give you a damage buff. So if you pair this glaive with Syntheseps and Nobel on the Titan, you're going to be putting up huge damage numbers on anything you touch. There's been an argument to possibly put on Worm God's Cuirass here, because that does give you a better damage buff, but they are both situational in my opinion, so use whatever you think gets the job done for you. How you're going to start off damage phase is obviously you're going to kill the knight and get the green goop on the floor. After you get that green goop, you're going to run straight up to the boss, drop the well on him, and go straight into your damage rotation. For Titans, if you're the Bolt Charge Titan, go ahead and start off with your T-Crash here. That way it does not get in the way of your damage rotation. And for the Strand Titan, your job's pretty much done. If you were killing ads the entire time, you already brought your Banner of War to the damage phase, and you're buffing everybody's melee damage. Your Bolt Charge Titan can put a barricade down probably behind the team so it doesn't get in the way of your melees. You're going to hold down the block to make sure that you proc that Nobel buff, and then you're going to start hammering the boss with melee hits from the glaive. The combo for the glaive, you want to make sure you get through all 3 hits on this, because that 3rd hit is going to be a double damage bump. So make sure you get through the full rotation. You can do that about 2 to 3 times before you have to stop, block some damage, and reproc Nobel. The Warlock has the more difficult job because there is an actual rotation that they are going to need to do to continuously apply a debuff. Obviously, you want to start off damage with dropping your well and then immediately applying a debuff to the boss. After that, the weapon we have been using is Perfect Paradox here. This is a great shotgun because every time you do your melee, it will reload because of the origin trait. So you can do 3 shots and get a snap off if you're doing your Song of Flame build, or if you're doing the well build, then it gives you an easy way to reload while you're doing damage with your rotation with Tractor Cannon. But the main idea is to keep that debuff up the entire time, because it is not the Warlock that is carrying damage here, it is these glaives. If you need a Perfect Paradox shotgun, this can be picked up at Failsafe right now for Echo Ingrams, which I'm sure you guys have a lot of. So if you don't have one with Trench Barrel, make sure you go over there and get a good roll. Now that we've gone through how it works, let's go into the fine-tuning of the builds and utilities. Honestly, these are very simple builds that pretty much I think anybody can do, as long as you are flexible and are able to play on the class that you're trying to fill the role. For the first build, we're going to go straight into the Strand Titan, because that is the bread and the butter of this damage strat. The Strand Titan is the one buffing the glaive melee damage, so they're kind of necessary for getting that 1 phase, not necessary if you're going for an easy 2 phase. For the Strand Titan, you want to be on Banner of War. You need to be using the Syntheseps exotics, and then obviously Winter's Bite is going to be your weapon. And quite frankly, that is literally all you need to run the Strand Titan. Every time you punch, you're going to be building up Banner of War stacks. You're going to be getting heals from the Banner of War, also increasing damage. You can get that up to ×4, and you want to keep it there throughout the entire encounter. And you can pair Banner of War with artifact perks like Hold the Line. Is going to give you healing from getting your glaive kills while you're surrounded. So that's just something to add on top of that Banner of War that is already healing you. Or if you've run Sundered Doctrine enough times to get yourself a good unsworn Trace Rifle, you can also use the Trace Rifle artifact perk Beam Medic. That way the Trace Rifle final blows are healing you, and this pairs nicely with the Unraveling Orbs that you can get on the artifact perk as well. So once you're up 2 ×4 Banner of War, you can really just rely on anything to keep that up. Doesn't matter where you're getting your kills from, as long as you're clearing the room quickly and keeping up your banner of war. You're also not going to be using your super during damage, so if you want to use it at the very beginning of the encounter to clear the room, get through that ogre and send Ecthar downstairs, that is a perfectly viable option. Or you can save it for it if at any point you get pressed during the encounter, you can clear the room very effectively and kind of save the run. Moving on to the Arc Titan. On this one, you're going to be running Storm's Keep, obviously, for the bolt charge that you can get from the barricade. And again, you're also going to be running Syntheseps and Winter Bite. For ad clear, you can do the same thing that you have been doing all season. Sit behind the barricade, use a void weapon with Volatile Marksman, and make sure that you are proccing your class ability to come back quickly by activating your Tome of Want, and you can really just sit in a corner and just blow everything up with lightning bolts. If you pair this with the Banner of War Titan already running around the room, you're getting heals from Defibrillating Blast, and with those heals from Defibrillating Blast as well as the Banner of War, you're going to be getting plenty of heals to stay alive up top while doing tremendous ad clear. All of your damage is going to be coming from the Banner of War Titan, kind of buffing that glaive melee damage, but you bring something special to the table with your Thunder Crash. So make sure you use that early and just get it out of the way as soon as the shield drops. That way you don't have to worry about it messing up your combo rotations. After you do your T-Crash, put a little Rally Barricade behind you and then go into your 3-hit rotations, making sure to block every now and then to reproc no bell. And then last but certainly not least, there's the Solar Warlock. Like I said, there's two options that you can do here. You can either drop a Well or you can do Song of Flame, and there's different ways to play both. In my personal opinion, I think the Well is more beneficial to the one phase because the Warlock is not the one actually carrying damage here. It is 100% your Titans, so you want to give them that extra buff and damage that the Well provides. But if you're buffing damage in any other ways, you could probably still get this done by using Song of Flame. I'm just throwing that out. If you're dropping the Well, you're going to do the same thing. You're going to have your Tractor Cannon and your Perfect Paradox Shotgun. The Perfect Paradox Shotgun is not going to reload as fast as using Song of Flame, but it is still a viable option while you're using the Well. So you're going to run forward, you're going to drop the Well right on the boss. You're going to immediately Tractor him to debuff him so that everybody can get started with their damage, and drop his shield by using a Snap to pull out that shotgun and empty it out. By the time you run out of the shotgun, hopefully you have procced enough healing and radiant on your teammates for Ember of Benevolence to kind of play its role in this. If you have Ember of Benevolence on, you are going to be getting all of your abilities back rapidly. So once you're out of your shotgun, hopefully there's a snap up in time for you to snap and reload that shotgun based off the origin trait. Another great thing to use on the Warlock is going to be the Hellion. Like I said, the ignitions are going to be holding this boss still, and if you're using a Rift to kind of pad that overshield and that healing, you're also going to get a Hellion that will send off scorching rounds at the boss, causing ignitions and making him stay still. If you pair this with Ember of Ashes, you're going to be getting more scorch stacks and more damage off of just doing your regular scorching. All of this becomes very easy if you wanted to use your Song of Flame super instead of Well of Radiance, because obviously whenever you pop Song of Flame, you get your melee back very rapidly, so it doesn't really matter how long it's taking with Ember of Benevolence. You just pop your super, hit him with Tractor Cannon, pull out Perfect Paradox, and start shooting him. Every time you snap, it's going to proc Trench Barrel, which gives you 3 rounds of overcharged rounds. Whenever you do those overcharged rounds, make sure you shoot 3 times and then snap again. Honestly, you can snap again every 2 rounds, but that will waste 1 round of Trench Barrel every time you do that because it does not reproc if there's still a round left. So make sure you get through all 3 rounds and then hit your snap to do that perfectly effective reload. You can probably go through about 3 rounds of that or 4 before you have to apply the Tractor debuff again. And as a Hunter main, I've been super sad not seeing Hunters in the meta of the damage rotation, but this is a perfect opportunity to get that dust off your Hunter and try him out in damage this time. The honorable mention here is going to be your Prismatic Hunter with Silence and Squall. You can sub out Silence and Squall if you do not want to have your Warlock running the Tractor debuff and throw a tether down, though the tether does not last the entire damage phase, so the Tractor is more consistent. You want to run this Hunter with the same artifact setup as your Titan with no bell and hold the line. The only thing that changes for the Hunter is the exotic arms that you have equipped. For this, you can use Triton Vice. Honestly, you can also use the exotic class item that has Syntheseps on it. If you have one of those, that works just fine. And I'm sure there are combinations to make that a lot easier. But for those of you that do not have the exotic class item on Hunter with Syntheseps, the Triton Vice works just like Syntheseps. If you're surrounded, you're going to be getting a buff to your glaive melee damage. So do the same thing that the Titans were doing, just block to proc that no bell. go through your 3-step damage rotation. You can do that a couple times before you have to reblock again. And quite frankly, I'm super happy to see hunters being able to participate in damage when it comes to this ultimatum mode content. That kind of does it for the damage strat for the 1 phase. Hopefully this helped out. If I didn't get to something and you still have questions about anything, please make sure you leave them down in the comments. I'm sure I missed something because I don't normally do videos like this. Normally it's just news and updates, but I figured since we got the 1 phase off and we did it multiple different ways, I figured I would help with the community and help you guys understand how we did it. That does it for the video. If you enjoyed it or found it informative, please make sure you like, comment, share it with a friend, follow and subscribe to know which platform you're on, and we'll see you in the next one.